So where do you stand?
In terms of cancel culture? Or
Oh.
I think cancel culture is crazy. How to say this before I get canceled? I think that we're very sensitive. We've become very sensitive as a culture recently. Society. Very sensitive that everything that is said is just misconstrued, twisted. And I think social media plays a huge part in it because they take snippets of what a person said and throw it in, and it's like, that's it, this person, they said something terrible, let's take them out, and they're just removed altogether. And I think that that's crazy because people say things, and like, I don't know, I speak and I don't think a lot of the times before I speak.
And kind of people say things because of the time frame they're in. Somebody can be in a time frame where they're upset or they're mad or they're angry. So they spew something out. Yeah. And then the next day, and this is where accountability comes from, the next day they can apologize for it. They can recognize that it was wrong. They can reflect on how it affected other people and figure out how to make the situation better. Right. Whereas canceled culture, you're just like, it's like hooks. It's like getting caught on hooks. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah, and it's like in a web, like bugs in a spider web. Like you just in there. A bug didn't mean to fly on the spider web. Right. It was an accident. Right. So accidents do happen. You can say something that you don't think about. Right. You can say something that you didn't process. You can say something because of the way you're feeling or reacting. So a lot of these things are said in reaction as well. Yeah. So you're just caught in this web. Yeah. And you don't even have a chance or an opportunity to be like, okay, listen, I didn't mean that, or I'm sorry I said that. Right. Or, I thought about it and I shouldn't have said that. There's none of that. It's like, that's it. It's like, you're out and that's it. And who decides you're out? Who are these people? And again, I think that if you don't agree with something that somebody's saying or doing or their way of lifestyle, then just don't watch them and don't tune in. If it's a celebrity, don't follow them. That's it. Like, why do you have to go and intentionally they want to ruin somebody's life. Right. And that's it. That's point blank, period. And I think how does it help you? It doesn't help you. It's I think that people who are kind of like so invested in this cancel culture are perhaps miserable themselves, and they need that source of entertainment to put somebody else down. And it makes them feel better about themselves. Yes, I agree. I don't see the benefits. Yeah. I see the benefits in taking accountability or demanding somebody takes accountability or asking somebody to take accountability and to reflect on what they're saying, on what they're doing, of what they're thinking. Yeah. I don't see it being constructive any other way. Yeah. No, and I agree. And you can agree and disagree on topics. I mean, everybody has opinions. Yeah. We're not sheep. Right. We're not. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Some of us that watch, the news become sheep, but we're not sheep. Right. But for some reason, today, everybody wants to be a sheep. Right. You hear something, you see something, and then everybody wants to conform, and then you like the rest, like the masses. So if one person is if a group of people, and again, this is like a mob mentality. So if a group of people is for this particular thing, you start thinking like, wow, I need to be like that too. Right. And I think that, and again, there's nothing wrong with saying this person is wrong and we want to have them apologize. This is like, it is the witch hunt. It is because they had Salem witch trials. Yes. They had nothing to go on. Oh, we think, or somebody saw something at the night. She was doing something in the woods. Same thing. Oh, I heard something. Right. Oh, I saw something. And oftentimes things that actually do require attention are not. And then it just gets gets bad. Like exploited children on YouTube that we talked about last time. Nobody canceled that. That was okay. Why? Because it's entertaining too, and nobody's doing anything. It is wrong to exploit children. So why are we not outraged by kids being on YouTube, underage children being on YouTube, doing all these things, kissing each other on the internet? That's forever. That's not an outrage, but something that somebody said 10 years ago, and we could look at our examples here. Gets taken out of context. Right. And listen, what they said 10 years ago, now they're canceled. On what grounds? Right. 10 years. You think this person didn't evolve? You think they didn't develop?
You think they didn't grow?
Yeah.
You think like you have to catch them on
Right.
something that was done 10 years ago?
Right. Like,
And if you do want to catch them, then you present them with this and you say, like, you said this 10 years ago. What did you mean by that? I guarantee most people were like,
I don't know. Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And if they do remember and they do know, why not give them a chance to say, look, I was in a dark place. I was not thinking or whatever.
But I'll be a devil's advocate here. What if that's just the person's opinion? And we talk about...
And that's the person's opinion.
We talk so much, right, exactly. So we talk about so much as a culture, I feel like now, about freedom of speech, freedom of being who you are. So why can't this person be who they are, even if it's offensive to you? Like, why does it matter to you what this person does? As, like, me, personally, I see a celebrity do something, say something, I don't care. I will never meet this person. I don't know who I don't want to know them. I watch a movie with them. They're a great actor. I don't care what happens in their personal life. To me, it's nothing. And, like, it's just, to me, it's insane. I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely insane.
It is. I think the whole thing is crazy. I really do. I think that we are in a place and time where we don't respect people's opinions. We don't respect people's viewpoints. We don't respect somebody who's different than us, although we're all sitting here saying, yes, we do, and everybody has to be accepted, and everybody has the right to their...
Until they have a different opinion than you.
We throw in this freedom of speech that nobody actually understands, that freedom of speech is not hate speech.
Right.
It's actually illegal to have hate speech.
Right.
That is not freedom of speech. That is not your First Amendment.
Yeah.
Right. But whatever. So we're all sitting here. We're all saying, well, these things. Meanwhile, we're all engaging in this cancel culture nonsense.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an
agenda.
I feel like there's fuckery.
No, it's true. It's true because, like, how can you say that you are accepting of people when you don't accept other people's opinions? Like, it's fine to disagree with somebody. You don't have to... Every single person you meet is not going to be your cup of tea, let's say, right?
Of course not.
And you don't have to engage with them. That's it. These celebrities, like Kevin Hart, for example.
Yeah, we have a couple of examples.
So Kevin Hart had posted some tweets. They resurfaced that were homophobic from his past. And they resurfaced when he was announced as the Oscars host. And he initially resisted apologizing again because he had previously addressed the tweets, but eventually stepped down and made a public apology. And the outcome was, well, some called for him to be canceled. Others saw it as his willingness to acknowledge the issue and step aside as an example of public accountability. He owned up without being
why bring
erased.
this up?
Yeah.
Somebody wanted him to
out. Yes.
Step down. Somebody wanted this to be leaked.
To happen.
He didn't do this himself.
Right.
Somebody, whoever it was, decided that this should be public knowledge.
Yeah.
Again.
Right.
It was already public knowledge 10 years ago.
Right.
He did fine for himself 10 years later.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you need to bring up this nonsense.
Right.
But 10 years ago, he's not the same person.
Right.
He's not in the same place.
Like, everybody grows. Like, things that I was doing when I was, I don't know, 19, 20 years old, I'm like completely different person now. And with and people just don't care.
Exactly.
They just don't care. They're like,
let's think back to what I said when I was in high school or when I was in college. I had a life.
Yeah.
An X amount of life. I'm pretty sure that what I thought is okay in high school
is not okay.
It's not okay.
Yes,
because
I agree.
Even with my own children, like, you know, children are children, whether we were children or their children or whatever, your children, nothing really changes. But like the behaviors that my children have today in high school are very similar, if not the same, that I had when I was in high school. But yet today I'm like, no, you cannot do this. I cut school.
Right.
A perfect example. I cut school when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I did. I cut school. But today, my children, if I find out they cut school, it's a whole big conversation. Right. Like, you have to go to school and you can't do this. Blah, 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 blah. But should that, me cutting school in high school, reflect on what I'm trying to teach them today?
No. Absolutely.
And this is the same thing.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, for him, it was an example of accountability. So he didn't get canceled, but you know, and he came out and apologized several times.
Wanted him to get
canceled. Of course, but also, who has the time? Like, realistically, who has the time to sit there and look up and like dig up people's past? why? Like, everybody's now a private investigator.
Nah. FBI and private investigator.
No, and again, it's like, oh, was it right? No. But did he apologize for it? Yes.
He acknowledged that it's not right. Nobody's giving him a free pass. Nobody gave him a free pass 10 years ago.
Right.
It was all acknowledged that this is not okay.
Right.
He apologized for it. Why do we have to make him do it again?
Yeah. An example of cancel culture of James Gunn also had tweets resurfaced that were old. They were uncovered. And Disney quickly fired him from the directing of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, despite apologies and public support from actors and fans. This was widely seen as an instance of cancel culture, a quick, punitive reaction without consideration for growth or context. He was eventually rehired, showing how cancel culture can be reversed when reflection occurs.
Yeah, reversed. Lawyers
Just
probably had to get involved.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 sucked. So probably that's why. I do watch them all, but that one was not that great. Disney did that a lot. Disney is big on cancel culture. I feel like there were so many shows, cartoons, and things that I grew up on that you can't even find anymore in Disney. And it's kind of sad because I like things that I watched, I wanted like to show maybe my son. Sesame Street got canceled a couple of episodes. You know, I mean, look, come on, guys. Like, it's getting crazy at this point. Like, it's too much, and it's just, I don't know. To me, it's like,
I remember when the Teletubbies first came out.
Yes.
You remember the conspiracy with the Teletubbies?
Yes.
That this one was like, has a triangle on his head and he's purple. So clearly he's, yay.
Yeah.
And then, they're all boys. Why are they all boys? They should be girls and boys. I mean, they're little, like, they're not even animals.
Right.
They're fictional characters.
Yeah.
How can we identify them as boys or girls or gay or
Yeah.
straight? They also make noises. And the reason that they have shapes on their heads is so children, like toddlers, can identify shapes and colors.
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna go a whole political thing on this.
There was a whole thing I recently saw, and I think it's been out, but it just like came up recently on my feed on Instagram. That there's like subliminal messages inside of Disney movies. So it'll be like right. So they'll have the picture, and it's gonna be like when they have the penises standing up or whatever.
When Lion King first came out, and there's a part where Simba or Mufasa, they fall into these like flower things that go up into the sky. So supposedly that word in the sky from the flower petals spells out sex.
Right.
I tried to find it. I could not find it. Really.
I watched Lion King.
I looked at it. Nothing.
It actually happens to be my son's favorite movie. We've watched it probably like 1,000 times. But I also don't see it, like a lot of these things. And a lot of it is AI too. Like people now we have more to add to the cancel culture because they're using AI to create these like images.
AI for news.
For everything, right? And so now it's like people are like, oh my god, he said this and she said that. Let's crucify them. So people start, and I mean, it's crazy. I think people need to find better things to do with their time, to be quite honest.
I just think we have to start listening to people, each other, and start respecting that we do not have one brain.
Right.
I have a brain. You have a brain. She has a brain. Everybody has a brain.
Mm-hmm.
And our brain has a different process.
Right.
And different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And thinking about things. And feelings. We have feelings and we have emotions and we have various everything.
Yeah.
If we're supposed to accept everything and everyone as they are, why are we not accepting that people have different brains?
And that people make mistakes and things happen. People say things or things get twisted.
Yeah.
So I think that we as a society just need to move on from that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be like literally left with nothing. Right? Everybody's going to get canceled at some point because we're all human. People say things, people do things. Celebrities, it's worse because...
This is why people argue and fight, because you say things and
right.
you think things and you do things.
Right. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions on this, but...
Sure.
But again, I think that's my personal opinion and that's what it is.
Yes, and I think that you're entitled to it.
Thank you.